Yes, welcome back to Funtastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. And we're locked in the segment titled Talk the Ting. It's our discussion segment where we give you different topics, different subject matters that affects pretty much everyone. And this week's topic, we're looking at 10 things you might forget for back to school preparations. So we're getting into the heated section of back to school preparation. People getting the items from the book list. We're running up and down getting shoes and bags. And I want to say a shout out to Burger Man for his back to school fun day that took place last Saturday. That's August 23rd, and it was an exciting event. I gave away several, probably about almost 1,000 bags or more, if I'm not wrong, and book items, pencils, pens, and they had a lots of activities there. You could get haircut. They also had, health checkups and lots of other sponsors and partners providing discounts or even free items that they can get. So I want to say a big up to DJ Bergerman for that. All right. So we're going to jump into our discussion topic. We continue with 10 things you might forget for back to school preparations. All right. So we're looking at things that might fall off your list. It might not be the top things that you have. So we know the book, the bag, we know the shoes and all these items. But these items are very important, but they somehow miss the list for most persons. So earlier in the show, we talked about one, medical checkup. Yes, persons usually wait the last minute and then it becomes probably more costly and it becomes more hectic. So please get that out of the way from early. Number two, stationery restock. People often miss items such as paper clips, erasers, sharpeners. These items are necessary for back to school, but somehow they fall off our list. All right. Number three, you want to do a tech check. Persons often don't check their items before back to school. And when they jump into school, when they look, oh my, the calculator is not working, the tablet is down, all these things are happening. My charger not working properly. I want to recommend you do a tech check. Check your technological devices, all those electronics that you are going to be using in your school term. Do a quick check at least 2 weeks or a week before the school begins, so that way you can get replacements ahead of time. Number four, things people might forget is a transportation plan. Ensure that you confirm who's taking the child to school, who's taking them back, what time to leave, and so on. Ensure that the necessary plans is in place. And also you want to factor in any transportational changes. Let's say if it's a new school, find the location where they go, and teach the child the route, whether by bus or car, so they can get there on their own in case of an emergency, or get back in case of an emergency, because we might not be able to get them all the time. So you want them to know where they are going. Number five on our earlier list, we looked at setting a meal plan. Persons often forget about this, and back to school morning, them running around. What are you going to get for breakfast? What is this? What are you going to carry for lunch? And it ends up being unhealthy snacks. So we're saying, do this meal plan check ahead of time, so it will save you money. Because when you buy, in bulk and prepare, you often save than when you have to buy those last minute items or unhealthy food. Yeah, it usually costs you if you don't plan. All right, so those are the first 5 items we looked at. We're going to jump on item number 6, and we're looking at 10 things most people forget for their back to school preparations. Number 6, labeling and wrapping. So as you know, you have your items, you need to label them. Schoolyards and classrooms are hotspots for lost items, whether it be uniform, bottles, bags, even books, pencils, and other stationery may get either mixed up or lost when it comes on the school compound. So we recommend wrapping those books, those that will help them to last longer and be in a better condition throughout the school year. And you also want to label those items. So anything that can be labeled, your pencil case, your textbooks, you want to put your name on the inside, or if there's a spot designated for your name to be placed, ensure that you label your item. So whenever it's misplaced, you can say, anybody see my book? And you say, okay, I see your name in this one, so this belongs to your child. You know what I'm saying? So you want to go ahead and ensure that you label items and you wrap necessary items. This often goes unchecked. Yes, and then by the first 2 weeks of school, I can't find my book. This person take up a book and it looked like mine, but the name not in it. So what you're gonna do next? You're gonna go ahead and put their name in it, and no, it's no longer your book, right? So you want to ensure that you label these items. Recommendation I will give you is use permanent markers or personalized labels. These things are more durable and they allow you to check on the mark even after probably someone tries to rub it out. All right, so most persons say label everything, even socks if necessary. And trust me, you can't go wrong if you try and put the label on them. So that way, if there's an item that's misplaced, we can look for the label to say, okay, this belongs to your child. All right, so that's number 6 on our list. Now, another thing that might get missing or might go unchecked when we're talking about our back to school preparation is updating your emergency contacts. Yes, people. Your emergency contacts. So these are people that you call in an emergency. These are your list of, as they call it, next of kin. Most of this information is usually given to the school. Sometimes it's given directly to the teacher, but this needs to be updated. Sometimes the child keeps a copy, whether in their bag or on their phone or in their, they want to ensure that they have the up-to-date information. If numbers have changed, they have it on hand. So schools rely on accurate contact info, so outdated numbers can cause serious issues in case of emergencies. All right, so here's a quick tip for you. Review school forms and provide a backup contact just in case. So ensure that you're going through the school's contact form. Usually most schools, when you're registering, they ask you for this information. So if you know that you haven't sent in any updates since last year and there has been some changes, please send the information to the school and make the information known to the child as well. So if the teacher asks, they can provide the teacher with the necessary contact information. All right, so that's number 7 on our list of 10 items that most people might forget for their back to school preparations. This one is another one that often goes unchecked when persons probably get new ones. But if you're continuing with the same, people, I recommend that you do a uniform check, and that's number 8 on our list. Uniform check. All right, so sometimes parents buy uniforms, but they forget to make alterations, such as, the school uniform was purchased, but guess what? The skirt too long, the shirt needed 2 more buttons, the adjustments needed to be made. However, because you buy the uniform and say everything good, we might forget to make these alterations. Probably you have a uniform or a skirt from last year. The child has gotten a bit taller. You might need to extend the length of the skirt or the pants. Probably the child has put on or lost some weight. You need to adjust the uniform. Remember to do a uniform check at least a week before school opens. If not, even doing it the Friday before, so that way you need to get anything done over the weekend, you can do so. But it's best to do that at least a week or more, because you get a better chance to avoid the rush if you do it ahead of time. All right, so here's another suggestion. Review the school forms and do a uniform check at least 1 week early, as I said. Also, you want to try and wash, iron, and mend, and ensure that you make the child put it on to confirm that it fits. Do all that at least a week before school, because as I say, we're trying to avoid that back to school rush where, listen me, Monday morning before you go straight to school, you have to stop at this place, buy button, buy pin, we want to avoid all that this year. So before you get into the back to school rush, we pretty much have a week to get these items together. Number 8, that was our uniform check. All right, moving up on our list of things, the 10 things that most people forget in their back to school preparations. Number 9, set up your study space. Yes, oftentimes, without a dedicated space for homework or study time, kids might become unproductive, or you yourself might become unproductive. Children and adults need quiet, organized areas where they can get their work done. So I know it's back to school preparation, but yes, that area that they have their little desk at home, ensure that it's cleared up and ready for back to school. If there's no area, you want to go ahead and dedicate an area for their back to school or homework area, their study area, whatever you want to call it. Ensure that there's a designated area for them to get their work on when back to school begins. I know you might not use the area the first day because sometimes that might be a light day for most students, but still, you don't want to wait until the middle of the school year where the child is doing their work lying down on the bed. That's not a good practice. You want to ensure you have a designated area. All right, so here's a tip for you: set up a desk with good lighting, stationery, and as little distraction as possible. All right, and you want to do that, as I said, at least a week before school begins because you want to avoid the back to school rush. All right, people, so we've gone through number 9. We're going to drop number 10 for you. All right, so here's number 10 on the list of 10 things you might forget for back to school preparations. This one, I believe most persons will leave off the list because they don't see it as important, but I tell you, people, it is. Number 10 on our list: mental and emotional preparedness. Yes, that is important, to do a mental and emotional prep. So, why is it important? You have new classes, new teachers most times, or the new school can cause anxiety, or just school in general can cause anxiety. So, talking through expectations helps to ease the transition. Talk to your child about the new teacher, the new, whether they're studying a new course or a subject matter. Ensure that you do a mental and emotional preparedness check before school begins, right? That helps you, the parent, understand what the child is going through and also gets the child prepared to take on the new school year or new school term. All right, don't just send them out there just on their own. Go through the book list with them, go through the subjects or course matter with them if possible. Ensure that they have a check of all the items, and yeah, that way you're both on the same page. Another tip for you is to have open conversations. So visit the school if possible, find out the teacher, talk to the teacher. You want to do this prep beforehand if possible. And also you want to encourage your child to practice positive thinking. So think about the year ahead, what they need to get done, what achievements they need to take care of if they want to go ahead and make the dean's list, if they're looking to get a scholarship. All these plans you want to sit down and talk through with them before the school year begins. I would say for this at least 2 weeks ahead of time, because you want to get that time to follow up with the child if necessary. All right, and those are our top 10 things that persons might forget for back to school preparation. I also have some additional items that are worthy mentions and they are still important, but let's give you the run through of the first 10 items. So number 1, mental checkup. Number 1, I should say, medical checkup. Please don't wait until the last week or last day to get your medical checkup. Schedule as soon as you get the book list, as soon as you know which school or class your child is going in. Schedule that medical appointment to get your medical certificates ready for the upcoming year. Number 2, you want to do a stationery restock. All right, some of those pens might be out now, they might not be working. Get some fresh pens, get some erasers. Some people might even forget the smaller items such as sharpeners, rubbers. Get these items, do a quick checklist with your child to ensure that you have these items handy and try and get them taken care of or replenished before the school begins. All right, like a week before. Please, people, avoid the rush. Number 3, do a tech check. A check of your technological devices. Ensure that the items who needs to be charged have chargers. Those that need batteries, you have the batteries on standby. You have the replacement batteries, and also do a test run of these devices. Check your tablets, your laptops. Are they functioning? Is the charger working? Check your calculators. All these electronic devices, ensure that they are fully functional. Do this check at least a week before school, so that way you have time to get the replacements or repairs done before school begins. Number 4, do a transportation plan. Check to ensure that you know the route. Probably there are changes, probably it's a new school. Ensure that you know the route, you know what transportation form the child will be taking, who's dropping the child to school, who's bringing the child back, what times that these will be done, what time you need to leave out. Do a transportation plan, and you can also do a test run before the school year begins. All right, number 5 on the list, meal prep and snacks. You want to ensure that you have these meal plan done before school begins. What's for lunch, what's for dinner. Don't fall into the trap of waking up back to school morning, or September morning as we call it, and you're running around trying to find out what to give the child for lunch, and you have to buy them the unhealthy food. Plan ahead, ensure you have the items on hand, and get those snack kits ready. All right, there are several places that can help you to get the items ready. One of those places is Smart Mart Wholesale. So you can check them out on Instagram, on TikTok, Smart Mart Wholesale. You can get your items in bulk for the back to school preparations. All right. Number 6 on our list of things people might forget for back to school preparation is wrapping and labeling your items. I haven't seen much of the wrapping taking place, but I would like you to please keep that in mind. Wrap your books. You might be able to probably resell them or give them to a friend next year. Helps to keep the books in good or neat condition. And yeah, you know, picking them already, they might just fling them all over the place. So wrapping the books help to extend the life of the books oftentimes. All right, and you can also label items that need to be labeled. Ensure your child's name is in every book or on every textbook, so that way they are less likely to get misplaced. All right, number 7 on our list, update your emergency contacts. Ensure that the school has the most update information. Your phone number change, ensure that that is sent into the school. Ensure the child has a copy. You can also probably give a copy to the teacher. Contact number, next of kin, who to contact, where you can find them. Ensure that you're up to date. Number 8 on our list, you want to do a uniform check. Ensure that the school items are ready. Shoes are polished, laundry is prepped, everything's washed and clean. You want to also make sure that the school uniform is cut to fit. So any adjustment that needs to be made, ensure those are done. Check to ensure that this uniform fits the child before, at least a week before school, so that way you can get those adjustments done before the back to school rush, which probably begins already. Number 9 on our list, you want to ensure that you set up a study work area for your child, that area to do their homework, that area to get their studying done. You want to ensure that there's a table, proper lighting to ensure that the child is focused. All right, and number 10 on our list of 10 items that people most likely forget is a mental and emotional check. So talk through with your child, let them get in their frame of mind for school. Who's your school teacher? What are you going to be doing this year? What we expect from you? How can I help you? Any question? Get that out of the way at least a week before school, so that way your child is focused and ready to take on the school year. Those are our 10 items. Those are our 10 items that we think most persons would often forget in their back to school preparations. There's additional items. We're going to give you 6 more items that persons might forget. All right, these are what we call worthy mentions. Umbrella or raincoat often falls off the list, so ensure you have an umbrella for your child, a raincoat if it's for you. Ensure you have whatever you need. umbrella, something to get you through the rain, because yes, rain, yeah, with Jamaica will rainfall. You want to ensure that your child is prepared, not borrowing or left out in the rain. All right. Number two, you want to ensure that you have hand sanitizer and tissues, toiletries. These items ensure proper hygiene, especially with the flu season coming up. All right. So this often falls off person's list. Some of you might have those hand sanitizers because of our previous experience. But tissues, napkins, you want to keep those on hand as well. Ensure your child has a pack in their bag. All right. Number three, that usually left off, reusable water bottle. So you need that water bottle for the lunch kit. Ensure that a child has this handy, and a reusable bottle comes in handy, so they don't have to keep purchasing water at school. They can take water with them, and it keeps the kids hydrated throughout the day. And even us as adults going back to school or even at work, a good water bottle, reusable water bottle, is ideal. All right, another item that often gets left until the last minute is hair and grooming supplies. So you want to ensure that you have those hair items for the ladies, especially. You get your clips, your combs, your brushes. For the men, whatever they need to get themselves together, ensure you get these together from before school term begins. All right. Extra socks and undergarments. That's another set of items that are often left off the list. So accidents and sudden changes may happen, and it's good to have spares handy. So imagine sending your child with an extra pair of socks that they can keep in their bag if needed, or extra pair of underwear in case something happens. These things come in handy, people. All right. Number 6 on our list, and the final item I'm going to add to our list today. These are what we call worthy mentions. Print, ink, and paper. So if you have an ink printer, you want to ensure that you have enough ink. You have backup ink as well, or if the ink needs to be replaced, you take care of that before school begins. Don't wait until the project is due and you can't print and you have to be running up and down. Ensure that the printer is also working. Yeah? Or you need to get it replaced. These are essential for assignments, especially those at home. So do a quick check of these items. So umbrella, raincoat, hand sanitizer, and tissue or toiletries, reusable water bottle, hair and grooming supplies, extra socks or undergarments, marina possibly as well, extra items such as that, and also printer ink and printer. All right, so I hope you guys got a good run through of the list. Back to school prep isn't just about the obvious things such as back to school books and bags, but small but important items. These often make the biggest difference in creating a smooth and stress-free school term. There are some small and important items that make a big deal. So by planning ahead, making your checklist, and involving your children in the process, you can avoid the last minute rush and panic, and you can set a calm and focused tone for the successful school year ahead. All right, so people, these are our top 10 things you might forget for back to school preparations, and some worthy mentions as well. All right, so I hope you guys had some learn something from the topic. Hope you've added these items to your list, and I hope you don't let them fall off or miss them this year. All right, so I want to thank you guys for joining us for Fantastic Friday here on New Start 93 FM. That was our discussion segment. People, hope you have a fantastic weekend. Have a safe day out there as well. I want to say thanks to our guests that we had in studio. Big up to Prophetess Latoya Edwards. They're going to be at the Remnants Are Rising conference taking place at the Four Seasons Hotel on September 5th and 6th. I want to say also shout out to author and minister Kerry Ann McBean, author of Process to Be a Blessing, A Hidden Message. You can get a copy of this book on all book platforms, all the notable book platforms as well, or you can visit her page on social media. That's Minister Kerry Ann McBean. And we're going to be giving away the signed copy, so if you want a chance to collect it, just drop a comment below and we'll choose from the list of entries that arise. All right, And there you have it, people. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Gonna bounce some music for you. If you want to join the trivia segment as well, let us know if you're ready. But we're gonna take out with some music. Fantastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. Hope you guys have a safe and fantastic weekend. Behave yourself out there.